Movies is a business simulation game that allowed players to take on the role of a Hollywood film mogul, however you say that, and basically create their very own films and run their very own movie studio. The game was released by Lionhead Studios on November 8th, 2005 for both Windows and Mac. This game was actually very well received and even won Best Simulation Game at the BAFTA Video Game Awards in 2006. It was also nominated for Best Game at the Game Developers Choice Awards of 2006. Yet, this is a game title that is mostly lost and even rare these days. Not many people remember or have even heard of this game anymore, and I don't blame them. This was actually one of my favorite games growing up, and I always found it to be very underrated. I played it quite a bit, especially towards the end of elementary school at a time when I was super into simulation games. This was probably my second favorite just behind The Sims 2. But does it still hold up today is the real question. I guess we'll sure as hell find out, but before we begin, let's check out a couple things. First of all, the box art. The movies. Run the studio, shoot the movies, make the stars, yeah. The front doesn't really have too much going on, but it's simple, it works, and then we flip over the back and damn! Classy, elegant yet cultured. We get a pretty decent sneak peek at some of the aspects of the game, such as dressing our stars, shooting our films, or even editing our movies. The back cover also gives us an intriguing synopsis of the game, which is always good. The game is rated T for teen because, whoa, fuck. I'm honestly very surprised that my mother ever let me leave the premises of Target with this game at the age of 9. Anywho, right as the game starts up, you're immediately welcomed by some inviting classic 1920s movie score. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It reminds me of the vibe of the Oscars award show a bit. I don't know exactly why, of course, but still, right off the bat, the game just sucks you into the immersive Hollywood experience. You start off by naming your studio, and then you get a simple backstory of the film business that leads right into the story of the game.
Welcome to the dawn of the movie industry. The year is 1920, and your new studio's success lies in your hands.
Now this is cool and all, but it's really just text thrown onto the screen. Listening to this guy as the words slowly pour down the screen is honestly painful. About as pleasurable as reading an excerpt out of an art history textbook. As soon as that finally ends, the game begins, and you're forced into a tutorial that is definitely very necessary for newcomers to the game, but after a few playthroughs, it becomes very tedious, very fast, to have to go through all the steps again just because you've decided to start a new game. Which in a way is ironic, because something that I do remember about the story mode feature of this game is that each film starts to feel the same as you go through the procedure of making movies over and over again. So, you start off by hiring the janitors and builders for the studio, you set up all your buildings and sets, and then you craft your environment.
Perfect.
You start to make a name for yourself and your studio pretty rapidly. I mean, gee, Grandpa, I'm 5 minutes in and the radio station is already talking about me. Hello? Mom? Mom? Hello? Hello? Mom? I finally made it. Guess what? You're gonna need to pack up your shit, grab the kids, we're going to Beverly Hills. I know, right? That's where we wanna be. Hello? Hello? Gimme? Pretty soon, you'll start the process of hiring your actors as you start to make your first movie. I'll hire you, and Courtney Cox? After that, you hire your crew as well. Now, technically you could hire people from different fields and have them work in other areas, but I wouldn't. I mean, I didn't try it or anything, but I'm sure a guy with janitorial skills is gonna have acting that's not quite there. It'll be shit. Time to shoot our first movie. You start out on this ordinary dingy-ass stage, but eventually you unlock cooler sets that you can use for your movies. Waiting for the movie to finish shooting on each set is kind of a pain in the balls, but you can always just press the skip button and watch as the progress goes by. Sitting here and skipping through the game is sometimes what it all consists of, which can be good or bad depending on what kind of gameplay you're really looking for. Yep. Fuck this. It's time to release our first film. But what the hell is that name? The Baggage Boy? Esteban? Anyway, we'll give it a chance. Let's see what's up. What the fuck did I just watch? Well, let's just hope that the critic reviews are at least somewhat generous. Nope. Before we move on to anything else, let's talk about the studio. You can build up your lot with amenities and other cool stuff to make it look more appealing and to give it more overall character. You have a pretty wide variation of lawn ornaments and studio pieces for decorating every last inch of the studio. Now this part is great. Who says I can't live out my American dream as a decorator? A gumball machine and a bench press right outside the casting office? Hell yeah. Alright, I think it's time to start a new movie, so let's just go ahead and do it. As you start to explore other genres while making new movies, you'll start to find that different actors and writers will prefer one genre over the other, established by their own skill set, which is a pretty realistic addition to the game. One thing I do hate about that though, is that sometimes it feels like any choice you make about casting will piss off your actors no matter what. Like, sorry, what direction did you want me to throw you in? I am the studio manager here. I mean, let's hear it. I'm all ears, bud. I mean, I could always just fire your sorry ass. Times change, people change, business changes. I'd like to see you struggle on the streets of LA. Good job finding another fucking gig as good as this one. How about you just appreciate what you were given? How about that one? What were we talking about again? Another realistic addition to the way the studio runs is the research. Yeah, there's actually scientists that you can hire at the studio to do research and special work for you. As time passes, new technology and events will evolve your filmmaking styles as well, so you can unlock new sets relating to the time period to keep everything modern and looking fresh. The moving vehicle set becomes available eventually, and I find this set to be a really unique concept, and it's definitely a useful way to transition a lot of your scenes. World events that happen within the game will also cause certain film genres to do better, which is something I completely admire. I just think it's such a cool concept to put in the game, and it's an element that's pretty relevant in the filmmaking world even today. So we go through the whole process again, and there we go. We have successfully completed our second film. And the reviews are... shit. Overall, our film was total fucking garbage thrown on a pedestal for cash. An accurate representation of 70% of films released today, if we're being quite honest, but back on track. This bothers me sometimes. It seems like no matter how much experience I give my actors and crew, the film just turns out bad. How am I supposed to progress and improve my films if I can't get any solid hinted feedback to help my studio grow? I mean, I don't know what the hell y'all want. Help me out here. Is there something I'm missing? Let's just watch it and see what we can improve on. Let's go, let's go. Well, fuck. I don't even know where to start with that. But to be fair, these scripts are just being literally dropped off on the doorsteps of our studio, so what can we really expect? Thankfully, when it comes time to make our third movie, we get to hire our own scriptwriters, which is nice and all, but it won't change the fact that the game engine is the one spitting out these garbage-induced plot lines. I mean, come on. Something that we haven't talked about much that I should probably discuss is our stars. And more importantly, their moods and their needs. In this game, you'll have to regulate and deal with your stars' daily moods. It's very key to keep them happy so that your movies turn out successful in the end. Oh shit, we got an unhappy star over here. Hot shit, damn. Is Stanley Tucci over here gonna explode? I mean, fuck. Will I tremble again? Sending your stars to the makeover department will boost their moods. Now, what do we have here? Well, this dude just ugly, but we'll do our best. We'll do what we can. There we go. A classy gentleman, just the kind of guy you'd bring home to mom and dad. Stars can socialize with other people at the studio to boost their moods as well, and they can also get wasted at the bar, which surprisingly advances their moods quicker than anything else in the game. If your stars go too far off the deep end, you can always send them to rehab as well. Wonder how Aunt Margaret down the street is doing. Now every couple years, your game will pretty much interrupt for the moment you've all been waiting for, the big one, the grand experience. The awards show. Yep, there's an awards show similar to the Oscars where your studio may or may not win awards. I love this element of the game because it gives me the chance to see how shit my studio really is. See? I win nothing. It was a long shot. I mean, I only followed every step of the tutorial precisely. What else could I have possibly done to actually win and obtain some shit? Believe it or not, this game can actually be pretty challenging in the story mode if you're a first-time player. It is quite a bit to take in, so thankfully you have the manual and the in-game tutorials. But believe it or not, this game actually had an official strategy guide. Yeah, this of all games. Let's take a look at it. The guide gives an in-depth look at everything, and I mean everything. Every single set piece, decorative piece, background, technology element, and more. You also get a lot of beneficial tips for running your studio effectively, as well as some advice that comes in handy during the movie making process itself. And then, there's this chart. Oh, what the fuck? Most of the advice in the guide is helpful for story mode, but there's also some neat subjects that will help you out in sandbox mode as well, which is the mode that I honestly prefer in this game. One of the best parts of sandbox mode is that you get to customize all your game settings before starting and completely get rid of some of the tedious processes, which is super nice. Some might consider this cheating, but myself, I don't give a shit. Another great part about sandbox mode is the advanced movie maker. Yeah, we get to finally craft our own movies without the help of a screenwriter. This feature gives you a full script and movie making experience. Without this, I really don't think I would have played this game as much as I did when I was a young kid. Alright, let's write Scary Johnson. The whole process of picking scenes and adjusting settings for each scene is super simple and easy to use, and you get a pretty wide variety of scenes to choose from. My personal favorite is the dog attack. Yeah, that's what I like to see, bro. You can replace set pieces as well. Sitting on the toilet to read? No. Give me a couch, Baxter. Beautiful. We'll replace this book with a catalog because, you know, we're setting up the story. He's on the hunt for a sweater for his wife's Christmas gift. Right? We can also tweak the weather. Like if we're doing a horror film, we can make it foggy. Even though this is a beautiful Christmas film. No. You know what? This isn't a holiday film, it's a fucking slasher. I changed my mind. See, we have all the creative control. We can change it all just like that. There we go. He reads nothing. More mysterious that way. Now let's make our villain. There he is. And then we go ahead and put together the rest of the movie. Okay, so I'm over here trying to change up the costume for our hero, and I can't take the robe off. Alright, I guess he'll just shower with the robe. Okay, so we finished writing and planning the movie. Now we just do the rest of the process as if we usually would if someone else wrote the movie for us. Except this time, BAM! The movie is instantly made. Here we go. Time to watch our first film made entirely by us without the help of the game. Well, sort of. Not bad. I may be biased, but that's as good as it gets. It'll pass. It's the 50s. It's competing with a bunch of nothing nobody titles anyway. I mean, Rear Window, On the Waterfront. What the fuck do those movies have compared to mine? Yeah, I think we're good. Inevitably, the movies had an expansion pack. Now, many games at the time in this genre, such as The Sims or Roller Coaster Tycoon, had many expansions, so of course Lionhead capitalized on this and released one expansion pack for the movies. It was called Stunts and Effects, and it was released on June 6th, 2006. This expansion pack is pretty rare though. I mean, it's kind of insane to be honest. It goes for super outrageous costs. I couldn't even believe my eyes when I went to purchase this expansion. Well, time to torrent it. Stunts and Effects revolves around the era of action films, stunts, and video effects. You get a new building in the game to hire and train your team of stuntmen, and you just gotta love this cheesy ass design on the outside of the building. Stunt schedules and stunt difficulty is implemented into this expansion, which is why training your stuntmen is key. Trust me on this one. You can improve stunt skills with the Spartan Torture Facility. I honestly don't know why it's called that, but here it is. Hospitals are another in-game addition in case your stuntmen get too injured. Alright, so we'll start making a new movie starring our very own Tom Cruise. Oh, look at him. He's just happy to be here. Okay, so my choices for stuntmen are kind of weird. Basically, I can either choose from a woman, another woman, or this black guy to play stunts for this white man. The movie's already off to a great start. The whole movie making process is pretty much the same otherwise, except we get newly added sets and scene choices to pick from. The miniature city and green screen sets are two of my personal favorites that help create some pretty awesome action arrangements. Alrighty, and here's our first movie using stunts. Okay, so he's black, he's white. Oh god, please, please, please someone tell me what's happening.
Yeah.
That was educational. You know what I've noticed this expansion does for me? It helps my studio actually run fucking efficiently. And I'm not even trying. Overall, stunts and effects is actually pretty essential, especially when it comes to writing your own scripts. It gives you a lot more creative ability and control, and a lot more to work with, I guess you could say. The movies in general, though, is a fantastic sandbox game with an interesting premise. Sure, there's some tedious things here and there and some weird bullshit, but in conclusion, the whole involvement of being able to make movies is pretty accurate and cool, especially for someone getting into this game for the first time. If you've never tried this game and you're a fan of creative sandbox games, I'd say pick it up if you ever have the chance. Overall, my nostalgia meter for this game says it holds up. It's pretty damn good. Alright, to end off this whole thing, we're gonna put together one last film. It's time we write a comedy. I'm feeling creative, feeling a little weird. Let's see what we come up with. Jimmy Neutron. Okay. Let's just go ahead and make our movie. Alright, 2 hours later, I'm not sure what I just crafted, but let's roll with it. And here we go. My cinematic masterpiece. That's about the time that I shut off the game. But first, the reviews, of course. You fucking monsters. Have a question, comment, or concern? Or maybe you just want to know more about upcoming videos? Check me out and follow me on Twitter for exclusive updates and more. Hello everybody, thank you for watching the newest episode of the Retrospect Lounge. If you enjoyed it, why not go ahead and like the video and comment on the video and tell me what you think? Also, if you missed the first episode in the series, click the video right here to check that out. It's a list of the top 10 best video games based on movies. It's pretty awesome.